pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Want to do the call to order?
Mayor Bright Leader,
Present.
Brandon Carrico,
Here.
Danny Clark,
Here.
Danny Strange.
Here.
Clerk Treasurer Lori Carrico is here. Stephen Tiederball is not here, and Mark McAfee is not here.
Minutes of the previous meeting. Make a motion to approve if you've read over them. And
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting.
I second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Under new business, I think Bo's sick tonight too. We've got several people sick, so. Stormwater proposal from behind the wire, just put that till next month. Water tank project. Trey, are you ready to open up like 30 bids here? These all came in today.
You want me to open them, or you want to and read them out? Or?
I can open them, I'll hand them to you and let you read them. Some of these we opened earlier, just, they were in, some were in other packets like this, so we quit opening, but we did get them all received in time, and everything's on the up and up.
We can read them. Huh? You want the score sheet?
Yes.
So I guess before we get started, this is for the tank project, the 250,000 gallon tank and the 750,000 gallon tank. Referred to as the north is the 750, the south is 250. We're doing a coating on the interior and exterior of the tanks. Typically, the expected life is anywhere from 15 to 20 years. I mean, it's been 2002, I think, since the last tank painting, so it's 23 years, so it's well in its surface life, so. And then there's some miscellaneous repairs from relays and ladders and whatnot. So that's just kind of a little update, I guess, on what's going on.
Trent, you got any more of those sheets?
Yep.
Thank you.
Fortunate to get this many bids, normally you get 2 or 3, so have the ones we have, means people are hungry, we hope.
So kind of the way this works, I'm sure everybody's familiar, but if you're not, we'll read the bids out loud, check and make sure that all the documents and whatnot are there. You use the score sheet to kind of verify. If something's not there, we'll just kind of put an X on it.
Do you have record who painted that in 2002?
Bo does.
Oh,
We
does?
have that background stuff for that. 'Cause we did that 2002, 2003.
Yeah. They done an excellent job. I can't remember who painted them.
I guess it is kind of a little bit of receipt.
No, I just threw one out there, you want the orders received?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
I'll figure out who it is, Brothers. That was for that. Who's the first one, Classic Protector? Construction. Classic protection, here's the first one I do.
I'll read this one first and then just kind of go on over here. So the first bid is, O&J. Item A is 312,000 even. Item B is 382,000 even. All forms appear to be there. Bid is signed.
What was that price on item A again?
312,000.
And B, 382.
Trying to go fast, but sometimes they're not always in order. So the next one is Classic Protective Coatings, Inc. Documents appear to be there. Okay. Item A is 378,071 and no cents. Item B is $538,428 even. And the sign as well.
The next one we don't have, I don't see one current yet, I'm still looking. Yep, I'll put it on top of this other one, 'cause you're gonna be taking all this with you.
Alright. The next one is from B&M Painting Corporation. So their item A, they have $573,795 even.
What was that again? Sorry.
573,795. Item B is $820,400 even.
That was D&M painting, correct?
Correct. Appears to be there as well.
On the form to it.
Yeah.
Bid sign.
D and 6.
Okay, so this is B&6 Sons Painting, LLC. Okay. Item A, they have 286,000 even. Item B, $565,100. Bid signed. All those documents are there. This is L&T Painting. $496 is there. Bid bomb. Okay, for item A, they have 261,000. Item B, they have 366,000 even. Bid is signed. And then the one acknowledged. What's that? So how many is that?
5.
About half of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Alright, this is from LC United Painting Company. Let's see, 496 is there. Non-collusion affidavit. Then the one is acknowledged. So item A, they have 431,000. Item B, they have 554,000 even. This is MW Cole Construction. Item A, they have 416,500. Item B is 465,950. Bid signed. And all documents appear to be there. Signed. This is Seven Brothers Painting, Inc. Okay. Item A, they have $320,100 even.
What was that again?
320,100. Item B is 395,600. signed. The other documents are there. B&T Painting. $496. Signed bid. Item A, they have $266,500. Item B, $412,500. Everything appears to be there.
Last one.
Alright, so last bid. Maybe. No, sorry, it's spiking.
Oh.
Item A, they have $410,300. Item B is $484,100. Signed bid. All documents are there.
I'm gonna do them all too. Bring our way. I'd like to ask the board to entertain a motion to let Midwest Engineers go back and verify and make sure everything's good, and then come back with a recommendation on who we should have do the restoration of those water tanks.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, got a motion by Danny, second by Brandon, all in favor?
Aye.
Hey Brian, I got a real quick question on that.
Yes.
Is that to strip them down and redo them? Or
Yes.
just the repaint them?
So we're gonna go inside and do a blast on the interior on both tanks and do like a 3-coat system. And then on the outside, we'll just do the typical power wash, with a
Okay.
3-coat system as well. And then just some miscellaneous, repairs that are kinda in desperate need.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Utility office records. We have records that need to be destroyed or should be destroyed. We have a record scheduled here in the years it is, So, need to, actually, I don't know why it's on the Board of Works, that probably should be on the council. So we'll just hit on the council, I don't know why it's on there, but I'll take care of it.
Do we still have the shredding truck come and do that? We had that one time, I think. Come in and shred everything up.
Yeah, or we can, the recycling center has a shredder. You
Oh, they
can
got-
go
okay.
You can go down there and watch them, make sure everything's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll just hold this off to the council meeting. Personnel, police department.
So, as you guys are aware, after our last meeting, we lost an officer, and so we went through the process of hiring on a new one. We were fortunate enough to have 7 applicants. Of those 7, 5 showed up to the PT test. Of those 5, 3 showed up, or 3 passed the PT and passed on to the background check, interviews, things like that. I know there was an interview with them with 2 of the 3 applicants that I thought were good recommendations for our department last Wednesday. I've got files for everybody here. I would like a motion to be made to accept and offer a job offer to our first applicant, number 1.
I'd make that motion.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you guys.
Okay, fire contract. Chief?
I don't have my copy, you guys have it? So, past contracts have been pretty vague. Thank you.
Fire protection agreement. Those are fire
Yeah, fire
protection.
protection agreement, yeah. So, they've been pretty vague in the past, and, we did to make some modifications and stuff, but, it's just basically for Perry Township and in, including the town of Crane and, Burn City. Pretty much a lot of it has stayed the same, we just, like I said, just changed some wording that's on it. I don't know if you guys have the old contract or seen it. But this just needs to be signed by the mayor, the fire chief, clerk treasurer, and then Perry Township. I'll give him a copy. And then, we can get this in put it in play.
So you need us to accept the agreement, or is that somebody else's responsibility?
It's our responsibility.
Yeah, basically, it's just, we're gonna provide Perry Township, same coverage, you know, I mean, it's pretty laid out there.
Yeah.
A little bit more detailed. I think the last time the thing they had on there was anything north of Crane, you know, was Perry Township, what we got. In here, we get paid $500 for any structure fires outside of, the city, so that's part of their contract. There's a contract, a yearly contract, they pay in 2 installments.
Yeah.
And stuff, and that, basically, Loogootee has priority on all fires and stuff. And that's in the contract, it's the same thing that's in this contract was in the past contracts. So, if we're there and something happens here, we'll send what we can, you know, to Loogootee.
Yeah.
Because Loogootee will have priority, and it says that, states that in here. I don't know if there's something you want me to read, Mayor, or just, so.
Is there an agreement like this with every one of our townships?
We only do Perry Township, is all we do. It's all we've done in the past.
But if some other township.
And the county
would
handles
call
the
us-
rest over here?
Well, if, say if you had a huge fire, it's like before, when we downtown called on fire, you know, the base came over, you'd have some, you know, some of the other communities, even though we don't have anything, they would still come over if you requested.
We have mutual aid,
Yeah.
we have mutual aid with
So we-
local fire departments.
We would still have that and do stuff like that.
But this is a little bit more solidified than
Yeah.
the mutual aid thing, because there's money
Yeah.
involved.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, so they have an agreement with Hayesville?
I believe they do.
Okay.
Yep.
South Martin County, those guys?
Mhm. Yeah, we basically go to Hayesville, we'll go as far as, Arbor Bottoms there, but, and then, as far as north up to, Crane Village.
I thought Hayesville stopped at the Woodville Church.
We extend it down a little further. We
Okay.
can just kind of work together on that
I
one.
guess years ago.
They're about, yeah, Whitfield. We can get there quicker. We'll still respond if they call us, but, you know, we always tell our dispatchers that's their area, let them know, you
My
know.
memory's still pretty good.
So, yeah, it's Whitfield, but we kinda extend down
Yeah, I
Whitfield.
knew it used to be Whitfield Church.
But usually we have quite a bit down around it.
So how far do you go down the bottoms? Do you go up to like Lincoln Belcher Road? How far do you go?
Arvin Bottom as far as, east,
South, I guess.
south, oh, well, we'll hit, we'll go just Whitfield and then Arvin Bottoms is it.
Okay. So the
I
bottoms
mean, that's where we'll go,
Okay.
but will extend further if we're requesting.
You'll go up,
obviously.
you'll go up on that straightaway in Lincoln Felder Road and all that stuff?
No.
You need to?
No.
But you will?
If requested, yes.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, we won't, we don't refuse anything if we're called.
Okay.
We go, we just tell them that's their area, we're still responding. And
Yeah.
if they usually get on scene before we do, they'll call and say, hey, disregard, or we'll get on scene and we'll do the job. When they show up, we'll give them a report. Hey, what do you want from us? They'll say, hey, you're done.
I'm just learning, I appreciate it. So-
Yeah, no.
So we get a motion to approve this and get.
I'll make a motion. I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, next up, Chief, again, you got your SCBA, and we have a representative here on, to provide information on that, I believe.
Yeah. We're rounding our timeline on our SCBA's right now. We got about 2 more years.
You wanna explain what those are?
So SCBA is self-contained breathing apparatus, and I'll let Mr. Foley explain more on that, but I wanna give you kinda like where we're at with ours now. Our masks, we have the old style, Hawks, was it?
Yeah, you have the Firehawks.
Firehawks,
Yep.
we have the Firehawks, and those masks right now, try to find those masks, if we find them, they're selling $300 to $400 a piece. You know, and we got 2 more years, they're good for 15 years on them, because that's where the bottles and stuff, that'd be hydroed every 3 years, 5 times, when it's 15, it's done. You no longer use them. So we're rounding that. This group was bought on a grant, but I contacted Mr. Foley here with McQueen. He had some other people we come in contact with. Odin Fire Department has used the company as well, and was able to make purchases through this financing company to do this. They're not cheap. You know, we're going as basic as what we can. We don't need the top of the line, but we just need these. If you want a fire department, we need to have these. Can we write a grant? Sure. Are we guaranteed? No. We just wrote a grant for a tanker. We sat on it for 8 to 10 months, waiting to hear something. Spent about $5,000 of our own money. We didn't get a tanker. We didn't qualify. You know, we did the best we could on it. So there's options. There's another avenue we're going to go with. We'd like to go with on this, and that's why I asked Mr. Foley to come here this evening to kind of go over this. He has some other people that's online to answer questions and kind of tell you what this is all about.
Thanks for having me, everyone. Like Chief said, we've been kind of working on this, and for the last few years of kind of needs and wants of the fire department. Obviously, breathing fresh air is very important, and the current equipment that they're in is getting to that point where it needs to be replaced. We've been supporting Loogootee for a while now. We were actually, I think I met the mayor at there. We had that burn at in November. I think it was across the street.
Mhm.
So we've been around here. We've supported you guys with the new PPV fan. We do gear. We're a dealer basically for fire equipment. So we have 170 manufacturing partners, and one of our biggest is MSA. MSA is the manufacturing of the SCBAs. The older gear that Chief said they're in is the M7 Firehawk. That is an old system of MSA. The new system is the G1. Which is very popular. It's surrounding a lot of the neighboring departments. And what I wanted to do, I have like an hour-long presentation of the actual device. We're not going to do that to you because you don't really need to know that much about it. This is more of the financing and how we're going to pay for this. Obviously, volunteer departments rely a lot on grants. They write a lot of grants. Sometimes those don't work, and the equipment continues to get old. So this is a good tool that we use in partnership with our banking partner, which you'll hear from Stephanie Perez, and then my manager, Jeremy Ware, is on the call as well. I'm going to bring them in, but I'll just give you guys a chance to just ask any questions. She's going to give a presentation. I have a hard copy too of the proposal, and what Stephanie has for you. So I just brought them in here. Jeremy is that good-looking gentleman there, and this is the board, Jeremy. I have the hard copies of Republic First National, and then Stephanie, if you can hear us.
I can.
Okay, great.
Nice to meet you, everyone. I
So,
apologize I can't be on video tonight. I'm traveling out of state right now, and I'm in a hotel room, and there wasn't a good spot to do that, so I apologize.
so Stephanie, I have the hard copies of what we talked about earlier. We had a call meeting a few months ago, and we wanted to use this opportunity to get in front of the board and just kind of explain what the process looks like.
Okay. Do you want me to go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
Does everybody have the quotes in front of them right now?
Yeah, I got everyone here.
Okay, I'm not sure, and this will be Jeremy, it'll be these guys that determine the pricing, and Michael, the final pricing, but they gave me really good estimates of either 250,000 or 275,000. So I just did quotes on both amounts for you guys, and I'm showing zero down. The majority of the departments that I'm working with anymore, I'm gonna be honest with you, are departments that really haven't financed before. They've been able to pay cash, but because of all these, the increases in pricing and just the state of the economy right now, we're financing for a lot of municipalities that haven't financed before. And I would say, just as an FYI, about 99% of the municipalities I work with prefer to pay annual payments, so that's why I quoted annual payments. If you would like to see it quoted differently, that's a super easy fix. But I quoted zero down and your first payment due in 1 year. And then when you see the 5, 6, and 7 there, that's just the number of years. So 5-year payment, 6-year payment, 7-year payment. And so the payment amount, the factor, and the rate are all there for you on those two different amounts. And then as far as if you did decide to proceed forward, it's a super easy process. Obviously, we're here in Indiana. We worked with, if you guys need references at all, I have multiple references I can send you. But what we do, because we can pull your financials off Gateway, I basically just need a completed credit app. I have noticed with some of the departments I've worked with, a couple of them, I haven't been able to find 2024s online yet. So that might be the only thing I would need to do is get a 2024 year-end annual financial report and then a completed credit application. That can be emailed directly to me. Once we get that, we call this loose equipment because you're not buying a fire truck or something with wheels or tires. Loose equipment usually gets approved pretty quickly. I mean, within 1 to 3 days is what we usually see. And then once it gets approved, we'll just reach out to you to find out who you want the signers to be. We usually need a main signer, and then we usually need 2 signers and a witness. So we'll find out names and titles. We'll put those names in the documents, and then we'll email them over to you for signature. We'll include a prepaid overnight shipping label. So once everything is signed, you can scan the documents back to us, and we can work off the scan, but then you use that, the prepaid overnight label so that we have the hard copy on file. We'll stick your money into escrow, and then either you or, the guys will let us know about a week before delivery, and we try to get everything, your insurance, wiring instructions, all of that taken care of right before delivery. So then when it does deliver, if we have your permission, we go ahead and wire transfer the funds at delivery. So your money, if you did move forward now so that you could lock in on this rate, your money's just gonna go into an escrow fund until it's time for us to pay it out. It's a pretty easy process. We've had a lot of people tell us that here lately. So I'm proud to say that. I think we kind of have this down. Our specialty is actually, our niche is in public safety. So that's what we really specialize in. We do this all day long. Whether it's radios to stations, we work with public safety departments, financing, all of that type of thing. Does anybody have any questions?
Chief, is this to replace every one of ours?
Yes, this is to replace everything we have.
And how many is that again?
Yeah, so I have the numbers here, so we're looking at a total of 26 units. So with the unit, yeah, you have the back frame, the actual system that they wear, that comes with 2 cylinders, so you can interchange those, and then a variety of accessories. These run off a rechargeable battery. Those systems come with at least one battery. We usually recommend some additional ones, a battery charger, a RIT system. So those numbers you're seeing in front of you are kind of a culmination of what all of those entail, and I'll just give you that kind of snapshot here of what is on that.
And that 26 is basically for every seated position that we're required to have on our apparatuses.
And then I think we agreed on 30 masks as well to have some overage, okay. And then Jeremy, I don't know if you wanted to chime in on kind of the process of inventory, of ordering, what that process is, and kind of add in anything you need there.
Well, number one, thanks for letting me join and being virtually here out of town. And I'm happy to answer any questions to the aspect of inventory. So before I blab on it all for the chief or the board, any questions on product lines or timelines or price increases or any of those things that I could answer directly?
Do you foresee any type of increases in these, SCBA units in the near future? What do you typically see?
Yes. So we currently, we're a very fortunate company that we are able to buy inventory and stock it for short times. We don't keep inventory for very long and rotate it. But knowing that there was a price increase that happened last month on the 14th, we bought inventory ahead of that price increase and currently still have inventory. So we have inventory that is set on that lower pricing that you guys have that can honor that pricing. Moving forward, our April 14th pricing would affect any changes once that inventory is gone. And Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, we have prices reflecting the new inventory versus the current, correct?
Correct, yeah, we have the 2 options of, kind of today's price, what we can fulfill with an order here upcoming, or like Chief and I talked about, of if this project was gonna be extended towards the end of the year, and then kind of moving in towards any, tariffs or inventory issues or new product and stuff like that. So kind of laid out those 2 numbers specifically for them to look at.
So yeah, we had our first round of tariff adjustments that happened on the 14th of last month, which depending on the model and configuration, averaged right under 6%, about 5.7% was that adjustment. And then the other item that is set to expire the end of June is your pricing includes what in the marketplace calls BOGO, buy one, get one free, for SCBA cylinders. I foresee our manufacturer most likely extending that, but we won't know until after that time frame. So there could be a risk of that going away. I don't foresee it going away, but I would be remiss if I didn't bring up that BOGO program that is on there does expire at the end of June.
Is that BOGO on this one here? So that does not include the
Correct.
second cylinder for that price?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So basically that price is the 2 cylinders.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're hoping, and again, they've extended it a few times. We just can't say, like, we're expecting them to do it again because they haven't said anything. So, but we're anticipating that to happen again.
And then how long we got the 2 prices here, I guess, what's the cutoff for the first one and what's the start date of the second one?
Jeremy, you want to take that?
So the current pricing is based on our inventory, which as it stands right now, since Mike kind of started this process about a month ago, we have enough inventory to fulfill your quantity and then we will be out. I do not have inventory beyond that. I actually have less of it and I'm gonna have to put together other items to be able to configure the back frames. The cylinders we're fine with, but the actual back frames, because of having the advantageous pricing on the buddy breathers, that pricing, we currently have 18 in stock. You guys need 22 total plus 4 of the other model. So I have to create 4 of those other ones, which I'm fully willing to do, so that's not a problem. So we do have that quantity, 22, that we can make up for you guys' need. Then our price increases to our next inventory buy. That would be coming in the month of June, end of June timeframe. And that would include that next increase.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have any questions?
The big advantage I can tell you to the chief and to the overall group is the equipment that Mike has quoted, and as I use the phrase buddy breathing, it is a hose that connects the SCBA to another SCBA or to a RIT system or to a aerial device, any kind of remote airline. So that can be firefighter or a remote airline, making self-rescue or being able to give air to another firefighter the easiest convenience. Firefighters given the feedback to us on the dealer side that the safest way, if there's ever an incident to happen, is for self-rescue versus waiting for people coming from another fire department or another scene to come in and do that rescue if there was ever an incident. So that equipment is on there, and that is the main thing driving that big price increase difference, let alone the price increase, but just the savings that we have on having that equipment. So it is a very nice value add for the department to be able to have that equipment.
Okay. And so the first payment would not be due until 1 year from this time, correct? What I'm reading?
Yes,
0 down, first payment due in 1 year?
Correct,
Okay.
deferred a year.
correct.
That's exactly right. Sorry, I had my mic muted. I was trying to fix it. Yes, so 0 down. Whenever it's due from 1 year, whenever we commence the financing. So if we would commence the financing June 3rd, then your first payment will be due in June.
Okay.
I was also going to let you know that it doesn't matter if it's immediate delivery on having that first payment due in a year. That doesn't matter if it would deliver immediately. We can still make that work very easily. And it's just the vendor, McQueen would get paid earlier.
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Mayor, what was the total?
The first one's 250,000. The second one is 275,000, so you got a $25,000 difference there.
So one's prior to June and the other one's after June?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
And then the other thing, while you gentlemen are looking through, or all of you are looking through that, I wanted to talk about the fact that if you had anything else that you needed to purchase or any, I don't know if you had a few rescue tools or something, you can definitely throw that in there as well. I didn't want you to think that you were just held captive with financing this portion only. If you have some other purchases, we can pay vendors separately.
Okay.
What's the rate on it?
And this is, oh, go ahead, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
5.47,
They asked for the rate.
5.48, and 5.49. That's at 5 years, 6 years, and 7 years. That's the same on both amounts, whether it's the
Yes.
250,000 or 275,000.
Yes,
So it's
our
not
rate break,
7
our
years.
rate break begins again at 300,000, just so you know. That's where our next rate break is.
So basically, if we go 5 years, it's 58,492.13. If you're 6 years, it's $50,014.75, and 7 years, it's $43,973.28.
Yes,
So, and then that's for the 250,000. If you go 275,000, we're at $64,341.31.
mm-hmm,
5 years, 6 years, you're at $55,016.22. In 7 years, you're at 48,370.61.
Yes.
So you've got about a $5,000 difference each year there, from the 250 to the 275,000.
Yes.
Well-
And rates are the same, like I said, the reason rates are the same is because the next rate break is at 300,000.
What's the 300,000 rate?
I would have to get that to you tomorrow, I apologize. It's changing right now because of how volatile the market is. So we have to check every single day now, where in the past, I used to be able to give you a rate and the rate would stay the same for a year or 2 years. Now it's just insanity. But I can let you know that tomorrow if you want me to. If
Okay.
you wanna get up to 300,000, just for the heck of it. If you wanted to throw something in there, I can absolutely do that for you.
Well, if we save 25,000 by spending 25,000, then we're.
I know, it's
a net
crazy,
gain, yeah.
it's so crazy, isn't it?
I mean, so, it depends on the rate, I guess.
Right.
Yes,
But
okay,
this is, currently though, you're gonna hold this 5.47, 5.48, or 5.59, depending on which one we go, if we do this.
yes, and I did reach out for a rate lock for you guys, so those are locked for, the next couple of months. So, I don't know how long it is until they're, Jeremy, I apologize, I didn't hear, I think you said June, when the rate, or did they already go up, the cost on the SCBA's?
Depending on inventory time, the price of the product definitely can change.
Okay.
Here within the next, once the current inventory is gone, it definitely jumps up to that higher price.
Okay,
So for the department, there's a large savings in buying now,
right,
but the rate can stay consistent, but they would lose, well into 25,000 by delaying that aspect.
right, and that's what I was just wanting, to stress to you guys, and no pressure whatsoever. I just do this all day long, and I have departments that will kind of hold off, and then they're calling me a couple months later and throwing a fit because the cost of the equipment or the truck or whatever it is you're purchasing has gone up. So I just wanted you to be aware, that in today's market, I mean, things are just changing so quickly. But I do have your rates locked for you right now.
Okay.
Hey, Mayor, this is council also, is there any funds that we have available to be, put some money down to lessen the?
Well, we got lit funds, I think, Lori, what do we, I don't know what we have in there at this particular time.
Yeah, public safety could be,
Yeah.
safety could be used for it. That's my
And that's
idea.
something we could look at too, cause I know we get so much every month, okay? Correct me if I'm wrong, is it about 10 grand a month that goes into that account, Lori? I can't remember.
Roughly around that, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we've got plenty of money coming in if we do something like this. You got 12 months, we're getting 120,000 in, I mean, we could possibly just do $5,000 or $8,000 a month or something like that instead of, spreading it out and pay it in 2 years instead of 7 years. Or 5 years or 6 years, and that's one thing that I'd bring to the council in the next meeting here, bring us forward, see how we wanna look at doing something like this. Not making a decision tonight, but we could do that,
Mm-hmm.
we get all our ducks in a row here, then, you guys could say, hey, we looked at this, we're gonna go ahead and purchase it, we can go ahead and do it, and still get the savings on the cost if it's, viable.
Mm-hmm. And we can, as far as financing goes, I quoted annual payments to you just from the get-go because that's how 99% of municipalities, prefer to purchase. But I do have some that prefer monthly payments. We offer monthly, quarterly, semi-annual, and annual. So if you would rather work off of a monthly payment, I can rework that for you as well. It's just, like I said, when I'm quoting blindly, I just quote 0 down annual payments, because that's how the majority of my customers finance, but I can work out however you would like.
And we appreciate that, Stephanie, because we're just hearing all this, so we gotta look at what, get with the clerk treasurer, see exactly where we're at on everything, and then, if we could, the council may wanna go monthly, they may wanna save and go annually or something, we just have to work through that and figure out which way is the best way to go.
Yeah, and I'll-
Absolutely. If, I just wanted to tell you, if we do go monthly, I would kind of wanna know an estimate on delivery time, because I don't want you making a payment before it's delivered, so I would wanna make it, let's say, monthly, first payment due in 90 days type of a thing. So when you kind of get that narrowed down, if one of you just let me know if you would like to see monthly payments, I just would need a rough idea of when it was gonna deliver, so that I can delay that for you to get past, so that you're not making a payment before it delivers.
Okay, and that would depend on Jeremy with McQueen there on how fast you could fulfill the order if we decide to move forward.
correct.
So, and he's got most of it there, he said he'd have to add a few things to it, I don't know what the time frame is for that.
Mhm. And that's, probably also like he was saying, and I'm not trying to stress anybody out. That's how, if they have that inventory when you guys are ready to move forward. And I only say that because I work with departments and I want you guys to get what you need and I want you to get it now. And just in today's world, everybody is fighting over everything for pricing. So it's very competitive out there right now when things are available. So if I were talking to you by myself right now, I would encourage you, because this is a great price that you're getting on this and we know pricing's going up. So no pressure. I just don't want you getting upset if you come back and, you don't have all of it there.
We appreciate that. I know Chief and I have been talking off and on for the last year. We know that our time is coming up because, we're a couple of years, everything's gonna be done. So we're gonna have to look at doing something and, being a small community, we don't always have a lot of funds to do stuff like this, but we're fortunate we've got some that we can, but it's just a matter of implementing it and, doing what we need to do to provide the safety and everything for our firefighters so we can respond appropriately. So, I don't know, has anybody else got any questions?
Any
Anybody from
questions?
the- Sitting in the seats out here, got anything? Anybody?
And Mr. Shane, I'll get with you on that rate
Okay.
for, yep. I'll get tomorrow.
Well, Stephanie and Jeremy, we appreciate you coming in on this, and giving us this information. What we'll do is take this to the council here in the next meeting and discuss it further and, go from there and see which direction we wanna move forward on.
Absolutely. And,
Absolutely.
appreciate you guys having us. If you don't mind me asking, just so as I'm taking some notes here, when is the next meeting?
June 9th, I believe.
June 9th? Okay.
I'll double check that. I think it's June 9th.
The second Tuesday.
June 9th,
Yeah.
Monday. For the second Monday of every month, so it's June 9th.
Okay.
Can you hold pricing or have everything till then?
Well, what I would challenge you guys to do, and is that if you guys feel like taking advantage of our current inventory that I have, I can go ahead and allocate that as a hold order so that you guys can figure out which direction you want to go on finance and aspect of payments, all that nuance to work through with Stephanie, but we can hold the product for that process, and I would be fine to extend that to you guys to do that for that June 9th meeting. So Mike would just need that you guys would make the recommendation to go with the in-stock inventory versus the new inventory. Then I would go and hold it. If you think there would still be a debate on that, it would be probably high risk that quantity is gone just due to our inventory being low. Other departments in your same aspect. So we can definitely have plenty of time to work through the financing side and give you guys time to work through that. But I could hold that if you guys were to at least make the commitment to say, hey, we want to go this direction, we just got to figure out how to fund it.
All right, we appreciate that. We'll take it to the council next meeting, have some discussion, and maybe we can give Mike some type of direction here. So
Yeah,
appreciate
that
it.
sounds good. We can talk and then I'll talk with the chief online and we'll go from there, so.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks so much for letting us be a part of your meeting.
Thanks for your presentation.
Absolutely.
guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stephanie. Thanks, Jeremy.
Bye-bye.
Okay, a lot of information to take in there. We we know where we're at or where we're gonna be here in a couple of years, and one of the things we've been trying to do is be proactive. So I would ask the the Board of Works, to someone to entertain a motion to at least take a look and move forward with this.
Can I ask some questions before we
Yes.
move forward with that, though?
Yes.
So, this is gonna be my lead in what we were talking about earlier and stuff too. So, I'm not really big about the whole financing thing. I think governments should do, grants and bonds and all the different funds that we get to and stuff. But this kind of leads into what we were talking about earlier, where the capital investment plans that the different branches or departments have. So this stuff has to be on there, needs to be on there. So that, this rolled out the way it is like this with the financing, makes it a lot easier for you to put that number down. Does that make sense? So it's already there for the next 2 or 3 or 5 years or something like that. So I don't necessarily like the financing, but I like how it's laid out, and I know we have the need. So that's probably the biggest thing, is that, the money, where it comes from, and
And moving forward, just like the mayor and I discussed, and when I've got the plan, I've already got it laid out and stuff. Moving forward, we won't have to buy so many at each time. That's the plan. The plan.
so when we do the budget for your department next month, we're gonna cover all that. I guess you've got the best capital investment plan out of all the departments. So we're gonna use that as kind of the template to go to the
I don't
other
know about that.
departments. That's what I've been told.
I'm just
So,
looking at what we need, what we have, and I don't wanna come in here every time and ask for $250,000, $300,000. My
Yeah.
goal is to come in here and say, hey, this is the plan, it's already in front of everybody, the council and the board of works, and they're gonna know what we're at in 3, 5, 7, 10, 15 years.
But those are the two variables when we're asking for grants
Mhm.
that they ask for. They want the capital investment plan, and they want a comp plan on where we're gonna see ourselves in the next 20 years. They wanna make sure we have a plan, not just willy-nilly asking for money type of stuff. So, those are the two things that they typically ask for. So that would help us immensely when it comes to grant writing and stuff like that, regardless of what department it is.
And here's the other thing, we know, we've got some aging fire trucks.
Yeah.
And we know that's coming down the road too, so I mean, there's just, a lot of things we gotta be looking at.
Mhm.
So, Lori, was you able to find out what we had in that account?
In lit public safety, we have a little over 300,000. And we get 11,000 some odd, 11,000 each month.
Just over three.
And that's allocated for the fire department, that 11,000?
It's lit public safety, it's
Okay.
police
Police
and
department,
fire.
fire
So it's not just the fire department, no,
Yeah.
it's a shared thing in public safety.
And the majority goes whoever needs it the most at the time? There's not a percentage or anything like that?
No, I mean, it's just wherever the council decides to put it, that's where it goes.
All right.
What was your motion again?
Go ahead and, well, not my motion, your motion, you guys want to move forward to take it to the council and look which way we wanna do this. To proceed forward, if they so,
I'll make a motion to move forward with that.
I'll second.
all in favor? Okay, next is on, utility adjustments.
I didn't see any. Bo being up again, I got it.
Well, I got Bo's copy here,
Yeah.
maybe, this is your guys' copy. I have another copy here. One sheet, I think. Yeah. Any discussion, wanna make a motion? Suggestions? Second? All in favor? I don't think we need to go through the department reports right now.
Oh, yeah.
So, one thing I'd like to bring up under essential business, I just found this information out today, and, out there at the city park, we're doing some things out there. We had the trees cut down, they were all rotted from the inside out, those 3 big trees. We're trying to get the park up, we've got plans to get the exercise equipment in, doing some things there. And then we got the Summerfest coming up, and we want to have a volleyball tournament out there, and the volleyball court is deplorable and not usable, so the only place we can find white sand, it doesn't burn your feet or anything like that when you're in it, is out of Cleveland, Ohio. There used to be a place south of here, a little ways, that it's closed down. Semi-load's $3,700 a load, delivered and round trip. We need 4 loads to bring it up to where it needs to be and usable. And they used to keep it up years ago, but it's ran down. I mean, it's horrible. Well, I'd like to get a motion that we go with this and then take it to the council to approve the triaxle, the semi-loads, whatever it's gonna be, a triaxle or semi. I'm not sure what they got on there, but.
Triaxle, what, 30 pounds?
No. Drives about 18, 20.
And it's the only place you can get it right now. I mean, I've called all over the place, been working on this for a while. And,
White sand, huh?
yeah.
I'll make the motion to approve that.
Go for it, okay?
Yep.
Anybody want a second?
I'll second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
At this point, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
For Summerfest? This is my theory. He said, "You're free from a every time she spends money, it's going to somebody's pocket.
I couldn't tell if you were talking there or that was a background noise. 37. Yeah.
3,700 per load, and we need how many loads?
4 loads, yeah.
Just for Summerfest? Just for
But
Summerfest?
do we need,
Is that what they're doing it for, the Summerfest?
That's what he said.
I haven't been out
that
there.
thing's 4 feet deep.
Yeah.
Why would we have?
Use as much as a skateboard park.
I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna bury somebody. If they
It's just money.
Oh, my God. So about close to 50 cents. And it's 4 feet deep.
Good news, I
Yeah.
think.
Uh-huh.
You ready to walk down some real work now, or?
What time are they protecting?
Hey, one of the deputies is right there. It's the most fun you'll never have.
Oh, yeah.
One big load, maybe 2 loads. It's a waste to dig all that. It had to change.
I think it's a waste.
I didn't vote for it. I didn't vote for it.
He lies all the
Yeah,
time.
Yeah, it's because I usually sign the wrong copy.
It's recommended. Recommended.
That wouldn't have anything signing on it. That's right. That wouldn't have anything to do with the board of signing.
The alley hadn't been worked out yet.
So the council can actually nix that if they want to.
So these guys will have
Oh, yeah.
They're still in that. They did. Great, you got this guy.
Yeah. Somebody needs to bring this in. You know what? Let's do it.
Got a lot of help.
Yeah, well,
Got a lot of help.
you have to be, to pass it around is all I can do.
It's done that.
Don't have in your pocket, yeah.
It's recorded.
We gotta move while we can. Work that, work that.
Kansas hates this green. We got feral cats, the neighborhood cats. Yeah.
I'll make another copy of it.
Could we not?
We're gonna call to order. Stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Rader,
Present.
Mike Eagleman,
Present.
Carl Rayhill,
Here.
Mark McAtee is not here, Jeremy Holland,
Here.
Dave Smith,
Here.
Attorney Stephen Tierball is not here, and Clerk Lori Faircoat is here.
See if anybody wants to make a motion to approve the minutes of last month's meeting.
I'll make the motion.
Second. Okay, got a motion by Mike, second by Carol, all in favor?
Aye.
That goes with that last paper up there. Everybody had a chance to look at the claims? If you have, make a motion to, have claims and allowances as presented. Anybody wanna make that motion? Carol, got a motion from Carol, second,
I second.
Doug, all in favor? Don't show anything under old business, under new business. Wrestler here. We're gonna have to table that because Wesley's not here, Bo's out sick, so. I did give you some information on that. You got two pieces of paper there, some stuff down the line, so we can address it next month. Get going here and then, they're wanting an agreement to do some stuff, which we know's coming down, we talked about it before, coming down the pipeline. And if you guys get a chance to look at it before the next meeting, 'cause it is a substantial amount of money. So. Covered the water tanks, so I have to come back next month and, award that. Summerfest donation, last year we did that, did $5,000, we'd like to request the same for this year.
Money came out of where?
And
I'll make a motion for it.
Second.
a motion and second, in favor?
Aye.
Next up, Sullivan Development, the pilot agreement and development agreement.
All right, good evening. Thanks for having us here tonight. Joe White, JB's Ventures, Travis
Stencil with Sullivan Development.
Sullivan Development, and I'm not sure which is first on the agenda, but brought copies of the pilot agreement.
I think they have a copy of everything.
Look at that.
Down the road.
Well, Travis and I will read all 5 of these. So just a quick update on the project. Things continue to progress. in very positive ways. Since the last time we were here last month, we've gotten a new addendum on our plans, so we've gone through our quality assurance, quality control processes with all the different divisions and trades on the design side and architecture side of the project. So continue to make really good progress there. On the financing side, which is the most important piece, and actually getting the project going. We've signed all of our term sheets. We're moving things forward. We're actually engaging in closing calls. So there will be several closing calls that will get us to closing on the actual financing to start construction. All of that is pending some approvals that we'll need here today. And I think this may be the last time that we'll come before you asking for things. Next month, we may come back and give you an update on the project overall, but this is a really important moment, and we've come a long way to get here today. And so what you have before you is the pilot agreement, and I'll note a couple of significant updates to that. I think we shared this with Stephen, our council shared it with Stephen, should have been circulated, but we've increased the annual pilot contribution from $5,000, which is what we had originally discussed, to $7,500. And that is on a property that's been owned by the city for, I think, 20 years or so. Longer than that. So we'll call it 20 years at least. That has generated no revenue. Now able to generate some new revenue on this project. Not only to mention the new revenue that'll be coming in, we're obviously, as a reminder, going to be paying market rate for the property as well to kick things off. So the property, and Travis was here last week to work through a subdividing process with Justin and the Planning Commission. And so as part of that, we're carving off the daycare parcel as a separate parcel because it was separately zoned and will be a separate structure, the daycare piece. And that will be a tax revenue generating property as well. So the city, in effect, will receive a $14 million improvement to the property, not having to contribute any cash to the project. And that was our commitment early on to you all. And we've been able to uphold that by structuring our financing in ways that were beneficial to the project and allowing us to do what we need to do. And so with that being said, Travis, I don't know if you want to add anything.
No, we did, the pilot agreement is carving out which you mentioned, the daycare piece, so it is not part.
Right.
We had never specified that before, but the daycare piece will be a taxable piece of real estate. So I think we would ask for your approval of the pilot agreement in accordance with the pilot ordinance that you approved last month as our final piece of the financing piece of this project.
Two things, this did go to Stephen, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
everything's been ran through the city attorney, they've been talking with the other legals and stuff like that, so everything's, I know, with, Jessica over here, their attorney had some concerns and X some stuff out and changed it, and everybody agreed to it, so it's been, very thoroughly vetted, I guess you could say, on that side of things, so yes.
it's full transparency, the taxes we're gonna collect, or the money we're gonna collect will be $7,500 a year for 15 years. Instead of which keeps us from having to put money, cash money into a project which we don't have. So, as Joe said, it's sat there for years. Not got anything out of it, we're getting a little something out of it, plus a $14 million project. So, it started at 5, we got to 75. Maybe add another zero to that, I don't know. But, doesn't hurt to ask.
And the infrastructure support is there, correct?
The infrastructure support is there, we'll need to make some improvements, and that was part of our conversation too. There's, I don't know if you wanna get into the details of it, but we'll need to make some extensions to the sanitary main, and to connect to the culvert, we'll need to improve some of the city right-of-way utility. And we are willing to absorb that as well in order to prevent any further burden on the city here.
And I know, we've got some stuff I know that we've gotta get out of there and stuff like that on the city side of stuff, so I know that we did cut a bunch of trees down for you guys before we had to go through other regulations, so, we've done a few things down there to help out and stuff like that, so,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Much appreciated.
So anybody wanna make a motion to approve the, new, pilot agreement?
And I would just add, this is something that's been ongoing for, since we came into office, for over a year and a half. We've talked, negotiated, gotten to know Joe pretty well, so this is where we are tonight, so.
I'd ask that your motion give authority to Stephen and the mayor to execute these documents, not tonight, some point in time in the future, so we can fill in all the dates and everything, and we'll have a document signing in the next week or so, just so that it's clear that what you have in front of you is missing some things, dates and parcel numbers, and we'll get all of that signed in there. Just, again, trying to be transparent that
Does anyone make that motion? Okay. Carol? Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright. So next one up would be the development agreement. And I will let Joe or Vincent talk about that.
So the development agreement is, simply put, it memorializes and formalizes all of the commitments that we made to the project. So this document, as you can see, lays out some recitals initially that talk about what's gonna happen on the site, what we're seeking to use and leverage in terms of funds to bring this project to life. And then there's a breakdown of sort of the city commitments and then our commitments as the development team, which is Oak Street Village's obligations, that section that lay out the things that we are committing to do, including building the 50 units, keeping the rents affordable, building the daycare, operating the property with excellence, which has been a theme throughout all of our discussion here since the beginning, and we will continue to uphold that commitment. And so, with that being said, this agreement memorializes a lot of the things that we've been discussing since those early days.
the development agreement references lots 2 and 3, which are lots 1 and 2, which are the 2 lots of the 3-lot subdivision. Lot 1 will have the Humane Society on it and will retain,
Lot 3 would be
sorry. Lot 3 will have the Humane Society on it and remain ownership of the city. Lot 1 will have the multifamily on it, and Lot 2 will have the daycare. In order to get 3 parcels in the assessor's office and the recorder's office, prior to executing these documents and closing on the financing, the city will need to quit claim lots 1, 2, and 3 in the new subdivision to themselves. Does that make sense? So you would, right now, there's one deed that's a meets and bounds description, it doesn't refer to lots 1, 2, and 3. We recorded a subdivision, approved it, but now we have to record deeds from the city to the city, so that the city then can sell deed 1, keep deed 3, sell deed 2. So I would suggest that this motion approve the development agreement and authorizes the mayor to quit claim to themselves, establishing those 3 lots per the subdivision.
Anybody want to entertain that motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, second?
A second.
All in favor?
Have you guys decided on how many days you'll have a management team out there on site? What, I've seen that, what have you decided?
Yeah, so we are in the process right now. Travis and I met earlier, and we're just talking about our property management team and all of the details that we need to get together, including, the tenant selection plan, the staffing plan, and understanding how many days folks are gonna be on site. Our expectation is that there's someone on site 5 days a week. whether it's the property management, lead, someone in the leasing office, or a maintenance person who's on site, obviously managing the maintenance of the facility on the premises. So our expectation is there's someone on site 5 days a week, and that's what we
You said
budget.
that from the beginning, so.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't hear.
that specific detail is not in here.
If you guys come back next month, would you be able to have some type of renderings or something that we could put up on the screen and show what you guys are looking at as far as what it's gonna look like on the outside, the inside, and maybe an aerial view or something, just,
Yeah, we're in the process of finalizing all of those things right now. Like Joe had said, we just went through another round of quality control on all those things and inputs from our contractors. So yeah, we can come back next month and do that. We'll also be looking at having a groundbreaking ceremony at some point in time, and I would like all of you to attend that. So maybe we can get that on the calendar as well by then to be able to say when we're going to do that.
well, we utilized our thing tonight the first time, it worked out well, we'd like to continue to do that, and it gives a better view of it. It's a lot easier to show someone something than talk about it the whole time, so it's a good asset we have here.
Mayor, can we get this on the city website so people can, see, I don't know how many people would be interested in getting it on there, people can read it and
Yeah.
the agreement?
Yeah. Make a note of that, so I don't forget, I promise I'll forget.
Thank you for all your help and work, and it's been a pleasure to work with you. We can look forward to continuing to work with you, but as of right now, I'm not sure that we'll be back asking for anything updates.
Yeah, thank you all, appreciate it.
Thank you, gentlemen, appreciate it. Okay, next thing on the agenda, what we gotta do is, got the 2000 bond ordinance and SRF. Just need to have, a motion made to, this is part of our thing we're doing with refinancing the bonds and stuff, so I talked to Keith while you need 6, it wouldn't able to get here, but, you said we need to ask for a motion to approve this. I mean, it's just standard of what it is, what we have to do. So someone make a motion to allow us to go ahead and sign the documents and everything, that they'll fill in all the blanks on this.
I'll make the motion.
All right, motion by Dave. Second,
I'll second.
Buck, all in favor? Next one is amended and restated ordinance, number 11, 2025-11, as amended and restated ordinance of the city of Loogootee authorizing the issuance of waterworks revenue bonds for the purpose of providing funds to pay the cost of construction of certain additions, extensions, and improvements to the municipal waterworks of said city, providing for the safeguarding of the interest of all owners of said bonds, other matters connected therewith, including the issuance of notes and anticipation bonds, and repealing ordinance consistent herewith. So, you don't want me to read 54 pages of this. I talked to the attorney tonight about it earlier, and he says it's what everybody does. They don't go through the whole thing, but it's basically, we made amendments to it to get it where we need to be at.
Does that require an action?
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
A motion from Mike. Second.
I see.
Carol, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. So next up is the public records request.
That's me.
Is that you, Lori?
Yep, that's me.
I know, you're yelling back there.
Yeah, I'm yelling. All right, we've been getting a lot of public requests for public record. And it's always been in policy to charge for those. I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware that we are going to be starting to charge for those. I have a copy of our new form in there, in your thing. I also have a copy of the IT code in there that says, yes, we're allowed to charge for copy fees. So, just for you to know that we have a new form, new format and policy. Some of them in here, like, I'll get you a copy if you want of the new ones.
Does that also apply to PDF files or just copies?
I'm not doing PDFs anymore, only physical copies. So,
Okay.
you know, there's a lot of redacting sometimes we have to do on them. And it's gonna be easier for me to do it with a marker than to have to pay for software to go in and redact some of the information on there. So,
You got extra copies?
yeah, I can.
I got a dime in my pocket.
There's 4 of them, so, and I can get more made, But that was just a heads up for you to know that, you know, we're going to be charging for those copies.
Thank you.
It's always in statute.
25 cents a page.
Only if it's color, nothing we do
Oh,
is
okay.
color. So, I mean, it'll be.
I don't have my glasses, I just
Yeah,
seen the
no,
25
it's 10
cents.
cents, it's 10 cents a copy is what it is, per page.
Okay.
So, if it's copy, or if it's a certified copy, those are larger amounts, but we've never had anyone request, I don't even know what you would request in my office that would need a certified copy, and like nothing is in color. So, I don't know that color, that will not ever really happen, but, it'll be 10 cents per page from now on, just because. And for those of you in here that are doing it, you'll get a piece of paper back from us at the time to tell you whether or not you got it at the time, or if we need you to come back and get it, and how to get a hold of you if you come back and get it. So just trying to get myself all organized, because sometimes that's the hardest part.
Old copies off.
Thank you. Next item was the fire contract, which is taken care of. We're gonna take that to, trustee, gonna sign off on it. Next thing up would be the, SCBA's. You guys heard how all that went and everything, and, I think you've got a copy of everything in front of you. Chief, you wanna say anything?
Not really, other than the fact that, I do guys, appreciate you guys taking the time looking over everything. Like I said, my plan is to in the future, as long as I'm chief, that we will have hopefully no more of these big things, with the exception of a fire truck, you know, obviously, that's, you know, I can't help that, but hopefully we'll have everything planned out for the future, when things need to be purchased and stuff like that, so. I know this is a big thing happening, it's been in the works, it's slowly in the works, trying to get everything together. Excuse me, along with everything else, so.
I think it would make more sense to take advantage of the current inventory that they have. Maybe take some of the public safety money we have in budget to pay down. That's just my opinion, so the payment is not so big. If you go out 7 years, it's 43, it's 5,000, like you said, 5,000 difference between the 250 to 275. So, you know, we have 300,000 in public safety. We get approximately 11 a month. I'm not saying take it all. If we take some out, pay towards the overall balance, if you can secure the inventory, I think it's more approachable for the city.
If you take it to 7 years, you're looking basically about $3,667 that you're basically over the month. Now, if we go down to the 5 years, you're 58, 92. That's more like 48, almost $4,900 a month that you'd be taking out over 12 months. But that's in annual installments. So, you know, if we did the installments, and Coach, I agree with you on a lot of things on that. As far as I don't like to do that as much, but you know, we can. If we do an installment 1 year, or if we do it every month, you know, we don't deplete our funds and where we're at there. And
I was just making a suggestion on some of the public safety, we
No.
didn't have to decide on money now.
No.
It's whatever works best for city budget.
And that's what, Lori, you need to, I mean, what's your thoughts on this, with being the clerk treasurer, as far as, you know, we're gonna have to make a decision sooner than later with the price increases if we move forward. I guess that's one thing, is the council wanting to move forward on this and get us up to speed where
I
we
think we
need
have
to
to
be.
move forward, it's something these guys need, I guess, how we're gonna pay for it. I hate borrowing money. I know there are times we have to. Lori, did I see where the estimate the state had made on money to the city, we got an additional $170,000, is that true?
We got additional money from lit because, again, it was an estimate. I'm not sure on the exact amount, but I know we did get additional money.
Was that included in the total you gave us back there?
No.
Will there be additional money above the 300,000?
Yes, I'm not sure it will all go to public safety. I don't know where it will go. But yes, we, you know, that's what, we have gotten money the last few years, all entities have, based on, income, local income tax, not, it was all estimated. So when they find out there's more, then they go ahead and release that.
When was the last time we dipped into these lit funds?
Oh, we dip into lit funds all the time.
I think it's where the police car come out of, one,
I
two
mean,
police cars did the last
police stuff
time.
we paid for, we were paying for. I know last year we paid for one police officer out of it, their salary altogether. Second. We're paying for, like currently we're paying for our officer who's going through, Academy, there's the word. Some of her expenses are coming out of it, as far as like her hotel and when she was staying down there, and some of that stuff is coming out of there. So I mean, we are, it's not ever just not used. I mean, it is constantly being used. But it's also constantly getting a little bit into it every month. So like I said, currently we have a little over 300,000 in there. You know, whether we don't want to deplete that, but it is there for.
It's a good fail-safe in case an emergency comes up within our law enforcement or fire department or something like that, so. We just gotta decide, or you guys have to decide, you know, is how much you wanna dip into it or go different.
Is there a possible way to use some edit funds?
No way we couldn't.
I mean, you know.
But we got a lot of things coming up.
You know?
I mean, that, we're gonna have to put in and look at, new lift station eventually, and I don't, you know, that's $600,000 once it, you know, at some point, or more. And we got a lot of other uses and places right now that we could use the edit funds to take care of a lot of things too, that's coming up. I don't even know what we have in edit funds. Once we get the project done downtown and they get the other, Country Court 5 done, you know, because there's edit funds going to both of them, plus the ARPA money. I think Lori's got a good handle on where we're at, but, you know, you're taking out quite a bit of money there for each one of those projects.
I mean, there's 600,000 for each of those projects coming out at this year. So, I mean, it's a fund that's a little harder to look at and say, this is the balance, because there are things already it's dedicated to. But public safety, we don't necessarily have things already dedicated to it unless we have committed like an officer's salary or something like that, and we have not done that this year. So with lit, it's easier to say, here's what we got. With edit, it's harder, I mean, to say this is the bottom of what we have. I mean, we have a little over $1 million, we have, over $1 million in there, but we've got, currently, we've got 600,000 going to Country Court, 600,000 going over here. So when you've got money going out like that, I mean, we do have money coming in each month, around 48,000 goes into edit every month. So I mean, there's money coming in, but there's also money we've already allocated for it, which some of that 600,000 we've already used for all those projects. So.
I think we still have time to decide in the way they talk in the June meeting, if we, hold off at that point. We're pushing pretty close, but
What's everybody else think? Pay part of it, or?
Well, I have money. Not,
I can't remember, did they say anything about if we buy down early, being penalized, like a mortgage type of thing, or not?
no, we failed to ask that question.
I can contact them and find
Yeah, we can find out.
I don't think there is. I thought I
wouldn't
remember her
think
saying
so,
something
but-
about if we paid it early, there's no penalty.
I don't think they're about the money making, they're about the selling the product, so.
But I can verify that. Get back with the mayor, and pass it on.
Well, I was just thinking, if he's talking about 300, did the 50 and bought it down from 200 or 250 down to 200, that would kind of be like paying up the first year up front, right? And then we have more opportunity throughout the year, we could pay more, we don't have to wait until the, payment's due or something like that either, I don't know, but. Like the mayor was saying, we could probably do it in 2 years if we really put our minds to it, instead of 5 or 7.
So we'll make a motion to table till next month. We'll get the other information and come back,
I'll make that motion.
okay? Motion from Carol. Second,
you don't wanna move forward tonight?
well, it's up to you, if you guys, if you want.
Smitty, what do you think? Or can we wait, if they did say June 9th, we had till June 9th, right?
Yeah, he just wanted to make sure it's a commitment.
Well, I just wanna make sure we got the inventory, we don't lose out on the inventory at the
Yeah.
50,000.
I think we need it, yeah. Just a matter of how we rotate it.
Well, we can at least give them the commitment to,
Exactly.
well, we're gonna move
Yeah.
forward, and then in the meantime, we can figure out which direction you guys wanna go as far as paying for it, it's.
I'll make the motion, to let them know we want the equipment.
Okay,
I'll make that motion.
all right, so we'll send the other motion. Dave's got a motion to, let them know we want the equipment. Second,
I'll second that motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So, Chief, let them know, please.
Okay.
Then we'll figure out which way we wanna do it, if we wanna do the financing or pay something down, we can find that information out, get a hold of her and.
No prepayment penalty. I asked him all ago. There's no prepayment penalty if you pay it.
There you go.
Oh. Just FYI.
Okay. There's a salary wage, ordinance amendment. I think everybody's got a copy of it. Need to ask approval for this and backdate it till January 1. It's part of the, we have our interns with the water and sewer. It's getting the grant from, I can't remember which organization it is, but part of it is that when they get so far into it, I think they get a 25-cent per hour raise after each 6 months has been completed. So we've reached that, and we gotta fill out the paperwork and everything, and this was supposed to have been done a long time ago, like we didn't get it done. So it's highlighted in yellow there, you can look at everything, but says employees who participate in the internship program will receive a 25% hour raise after each 6 months completed in the program. So basically, it's gonna end up being $2 more an hour that they'll get paid once they complete all this. And they are doing very well in it too, very well.
You said 25 cents.
So these
motion on
someone
that?
to, yes, need a motion on this so I can sign it, and Lori can sign it. And Lori can sign it, and I can sign it again.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Dave,
Second.
second by Carol, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Pay application for Country Court 5. Need an approval, on this pay app. So you'll have to vote on that. I need a motion to approve this pay app. Number 7. No,
I'll make the
number 8,
motion.
I'm sorry, number 8.
I'll make the motion.
Okay. A motion from Mike,
Say,
second by Dave, all in favor?
Aye.
Next up, I have a water utility ordinance. I'm gonna read this out. What ordinance would this be, Lori? What's our next ordinance? What would it be?
Number, I don't know, I'll have to check, because we passed a couple tonight too. So.
Okay. We'll get the ordinance, be 2025 ordinance, whenever Lori comes up with that number, but it's an ordinance to establish property owners' liability for water utilities. Loogootee City Water Utilities must be registered in the name of the property owner. The property owner must be liable for all water usage being provided by the city of Loogootee. And what we have going on here in the past and stuff is like that, we have renters that move out, they don't pay their bill, and the city gets stuck with the money. We can only put a certain amount of deposit on these whenever they sign up or anything like that, so this puts all the liability back on the property owners. And I know back during the first administration, we had a huge problem. And I think when we redid the water and sewer rates at that time, we had like $30,000 that we write off, and we do write off. I don't know what we wrote off this last year, but keeps us from getting burned. I'd like to have someone entertain a motion to move this forward.
is this current renters, or are they grandfathered?
It would have to probably be after, I mean, we can send them a letter requesting that, but it'd probably be more likely to happen when, if the renter moves out, then there won't be any service hooked up until this is done.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, got a motion by Dave,
Also.
second by Mike, all in favor? Thank you. Next ordinance, is an ordinance to prohibit feeding of animals on city property. The feeding of animals shall be prohibited on city property. Any person violating will be subject to a fine of not more than $500. The reason this is up here, you can laugh about it or whatever you want. But we have people going out and feeding and putting food out at the city park, underneath the park,
Shelter house.
picnic tables. And birds have literally, and I've got pictures of all that, birds have literally just made artwork out there, okay? And we can't go out every day and power wash it off. We power washed it last week, we power washed it this week, and the birds are accustomed to coming in. They've been trained to come in and just obliterate everything out there. And we are gonna send a cease and desist letter to who's doing it. We got cameras that we're gonna be, we will prosecute, but it's a very severe health hazard, with bird poop everywhere. And we want the park to be a very pleasant and enjoyable place to go. And the last thing you wanna do is have some little kid go up there, wipe their hand and do this, and the next thing you know, they're in the hospital. So it's a matter of safety and security for us and the citizens here in Loogootee. So that's the reason for this. And you get, what happens is you get skunks out there, you get all types of things. And I realize that people wanna take care of animals, but the city park's not the place for that.
The bird problem, we've talked about several years, putting netting up in the shelter houses
Well,
to keep the.
Bo and I've looked at that, we actually talked about today in an employee meeting. Is it something we're gonna have to do, because until you get the netting up there, they're still gonna come. Now, it's not as bad, but we gotta go out there every day at some, I can't tell you how many times I've been out there, went out there and picked up the food and threw it out in the woods. And I talked to one of the employees, they said, yeah, I just went out there and took it and threw it. I mean, it's every day.
I know.
And it's, you know.
So is this only for the park then? You're only talking about the park, so I can't walk down the sidewalk and feed my dog as I'm walking my dog?
No, you can, that's the.
I mean,
it's the park.
it's ridiculous, Brian,
No,
ridiculous.
but it's geared towards the park.
Okay.
You know, and you know, we had an issue, down at the solid waste district, and we literally have skunks down there now. And you got people coming in, and we don't want
We
that
have
to
skunks
happen.
downtown.
I'm sorry?
We have skunks downtown.
Yeah, we got them all over the place, but the
You
food
got that right.
attracts them more, okay? Makes it easier, so anyways. I'd like the council to, someone entertain, a motion to move forward with this.
So is this both parks, like the new green space and city park?
This is city property, so.
It says city property.
That'd be good. I was gonna say cover city property.
City property encompasses a lot.
Yeah, it does.
Well, I can cross out city property and put city parks, how's that?
I do city
Yeah.
property.
City
It
property.
needs to be city property because, I mean.
It covers everything.
That covers everything, and I think
There we
that's,
Who determines the fine amount? It says up to $500. Who determines that?
That's what our attorney put in. He did some extensive,
I mean, is that you
I let our attorney take care of it and come up with this stuff. Yes.
I'd just be interested to see who that
Well, here's,
involves, so.
well, here's the thing. And I hate to even say it, but you gotta make the work gonna hurt you, you don't do it.
I mean, he said up to 500, so
Right.
your first fence would be $100 fine, but, you know, second fence, then that potential would be up to $500.
That's the way it reads.
And we could come back and do an amendment on this and come up with a scale
You
on
can't
it
even
too.
cut the grass, well, I mean,
So,
we can't enforce it.
I'd like to go ahead and get this in place, and we can always come back and amend that.
Mayor, I have a question.
Yeah.
Who's gonna issue the fine?
there you go.
Well, it would come, if we got it on video, it would come from the, police department.
I was just wondering.
Unless you wanna do it.
Don't have an
It's not my
animal.
Cause you gotta go out there to the fire truck and wash everything down.
Talk about making enemies.
Tell me to, I'll do it. I'm the boss.
Anybody wanna make a motion on that?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Carol,
My second.
Buck? All in favor? Thank you.
Is this person gonna be notified about it before they get fined?
Well, we're gonna,
Hopefully.
yeah, we know who's doing it.
Yeah,
There's
I know who's doing it.
There's a couple different people, and I'm not gonna name names or anything like that, but, down at the solid waste, we had to send a cease and desist letter. And I literally took a picture, I think, we had like 20-some cats down.
Oh, yeah, I've seen them when I go in there.
It's a major problem, and we wanna
It's a
make
health
sure
issue.
it is, and we wanna make sure it's safe for kids out there, and everybody.
Are the cats taking care of the rat and mice problem out there though?
I have no idea.
Okay, let's see when we remove the cats and let's see how the mice and rats react to that.
But we did a lot of cleaning up out there at the solid waste too, on the outside.
You have, it looks good out there.
Yeah, there was a lot of things the old little storage, metal building that was right there on the outside of it as you drove out of the back of the
Yeah,
solid
cats
waste.
be in there.
That was set up as a cat house.
Yeah.
I mean, so we were just attracting, so we knocked all that out.
Person went over there and found it.
So, okay. Next thing we have is essential business, and I've got several notes here. One thing I'd like to ask for, and I know we gave department heads and stuff, cell phones. My secretary, bless her heart, literally uses her phone for city business, or what we call, everybody calls in on everything like that. I mean, it's everything. So I'd like to ask the council to consider some type of stipend to pay for her cell phone, because it's quite extreme, isn't it, Lori?
Yeah, I mean, how much she uses it, yeah, and calls and, yeah. Poor girl never gets off work. I mean, she's called after hours, on weekends, at her kids' ball games. Yeah, she works nonstop.
It's like yesterday, she was texting me and stuff because we was trying to get some stuff done, and like Lori said, it is all the time. And I'm not the one always calling her. It's a lot of other people that have questions and stuff like that. So she's basically on call almost 24/7 as well. But I would like to at least put that forward, to ask to do some type of stipend, whether it's, 50%, 75%. I'll let you gentlemen decide that amount.
How much is her cell phone bill?
I don't know.
You know how much her bill is?
No.
I mean, I can text her real quick, I can find out.
She was listening to the meeting, so. She is, she. Still is.
She's been watching, because when I got on Elevate to see how long the city had that property down there, it showed 1900, but she says, I can see you on Elevate. So anyway, I sent her a message, hopefully she'll answer. So we're waiting on that. I've got a couple other things here. One is the obsolete records. I think you all got a copy of this. We have some records that can be destroyed. We need the space. So we've got them boxed up and stored, but we're running out of space on stuff like this, so we need to get a vote on this to go ahead and allow us to destroy these. And if we do this, we'll either hire someone to come in, or we'll go down to the recycling center and have someone watch the whole time while it's done. So if someone can give
Everybody have one?
$80 a month.
80.
Yes.
Cheap.
So, it's up to you guys.
I will say, if you did do the 50%, around 40, because I think our city phones are about $40 a month. I mean, I think that's how much, so instead of having to getting her own city phone, it'd be the equivalent of spending the same amount on her as we are already on city phone. Those of us who have city phone.
Well, I'm okay with that, that's fine. The others are 40 now.
40? Okay. So who wants to make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
Second.
Second by Carol.
Yeah.
All in favor? That's for 40, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll make the motion to have these records destroyed.
Okay, got a motion to get the records destroyed. Need a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Mike, Buck, all in favor?
Aye.
Almost. Okay. I'm gonna check with, we're having an issue over there coming out of the Williams Brothers lot going on to Cherry Street, I think it's Cherry Street there with the bank and the doctor's office there. It's not a street coming out, but we have a street there, and there's been some very near misses with vehicles because they just come flying out of that parking lot. I'm gonna see if Williams Pharmacy will put a stop sign there. So, I'll find out from that, and if not, maybe something we need to look at, but we gotta do it through an ordinance. If we do it, I can ask them if they will do it, kindly do it, someone needs to bring that to your attention. And then, 3 other things. Update on the water fountain, or the fountain downtown. I've been talking to several different, companies, email, and trying to find a solution to fix it. We've looked at that flex seal and I've talked to them, sent emails out and saying, well, you know, not 100% sure, but yeah, it could work. But talking with Stahl Brothers out here today, they're gonna be contacting we contacted one company and everybody's asking what the makeup, and I say, well, it's marble, that way they wanna know, well, what kind and this and that. And so anyway, we are looking at putting some type of silicone, material in there, liquid that, kinda like what you use on a silicone roof. I mean, if you put that material on a roof, a metal roof or something like that, you see the advertisements now where they spray that silicone on the roof, so we're trying to find something that's gonna adhere, or at least with that marble and everything inside. We may have to rough it up, we don't know. We're trying to make sure we do this, that we get it right, but there's no guarantees. It may work for 6 months, 2 years, 10 years, we don't know. So, but we are feverishly working on this to get this resolved, so we get it cleaned up and get it going.
Have you talked to Lonigers and Ireland about it again? I know they came up and looked at it.
I have not, because I forgot who it was, honestly.
Lonigers.
Yeah.
You might check with, I mean, they do basement walls and
Yeah.
stuff, you know. I mean, it'd be worth going back to them and, you know, see what their suggestion
Do
is.
you have their number?
I don't, but Jason would have it.
Okay. Can you get that for me, please?
I can try.
All right, thank you. Update on the pavilion, they have a drop dead date of having it done by the first week of June, June 6th. That's everything.
Ground and everything.
And if not, there is liquidated damages after that. So, we had a glitch that I was not updated on when I was gone. That glitch put them out for 30 days or 25 days or whatever, but when I found out about the glitch, I sent a text message to someone, and they called me about an hour later, hour and a half later, and the next day everything was taken care of. And believe me, I was pretty upset because they did not notify the city what was going on. They never informed any of us that the reason why they weren't doing anything. So, everything's good now. So we're good, things are moving along. I guess I lied, there's 4 things. So we're down to 2 now. So anyway, the pavilion will be done first, you know, everything goes well, first week of June. We do have a new thing to offer the citizens of Loogootee. We are doing a SMS on text messaging. I've got to sign off on it still, but if you want to get alerts, you have to opt in. So if you want to get alerts for the water being shut off for some reason, boil issues, there are certain things we can't do with it, but we can give you alerts, and it's all going to be on the website. So if someone wants to opt in, you got to give your phone number, you got to get a text, and you got to do something else, and then you can get in. So that's going to be available to everybody here in the community. So that's something new. And then just forgot what the last one was. But I did the pavilion, water fountain, SM. Yeah. I think that may be it, gentlemen.
Brian, where we at on the speed signs, the digital? I know they said they were in it, just waiting on your directions.
Well, the state put some up.
Well, that,
Um,
I mean, on the
But
city.
we have some other places for that, and I'll be honest, we actually, while I was gone, and even since I've been back, I was on the plane and stuff like that, this is a list, I'm gonna end up putting this on the website. We haven't prioritized everything yet, but this is different things that we have within the street department, water department, wastewater, the pool, and just general things for the city, to let people know that we're aware of a lot of things, that we may not know everything, so then people can call in and say, hey, we need to look at this. And that is on our list, is getting those installed. So, and Mike and I, we talked about it here a while back, but, because Mike had the locations, now we're gonna have 2 extra ones, so we can put them 4 of them in different places, and we just need to find out where the best fit is. We know Bloomfield Road is gonna be one of them for sure. There's, I think, Park Street. So we do have two other ones available. You know, we just need to figure out where the best fit's gonna be for it.
It's getting bad again.
It is. So, but yeah, but we are gonna get this out to on there. So, and if someone else sees something, you know, we are going to encourage them to call in and get it on a list, and we can add to it. And when we get stuff done, we can take it off, because you know there's something new that pops up every day.
Yeah.
So we're trying to keep everything abreast and be transparent. But I just found out the other day we had a sidewalk just collapse again. Back behind, well, the corner where we just fixed the one there across from, right there where the playground is, off the apartments there. So, you know.
We're gonna collapse
Oh,
the hole in the street.
other thing I'm gonna say, and we have not, I gotta get with you, Paul, but just so you gentlemen know, and the public knows, we gotta thank our local contractors that's doing replacing gas lines. I took a drive the other day, went down to the industrial park or the Oak Street thing. They put new gas line through there. Brand new road, cut all the way across it, past it. We've got 4, 5, 6, can't remember exactly, penetrations on a brand new road. Now, they did pay $3,000, I think, for some type of bond, and if there's any way, they're not getting that money back. If we keep doing it, because they basically took a brand new road that's not even a year old, it's 9 months old, and took the life out of 50%. And they don't schedule these projects just like now. They plan this stuff a year ahead, and there's no communication there. So it's ridiculous, and I blew a gasket, but no one heard because I kept it to myself. But we are gonna do everything we can to keep the money from that bond, you know, just to say, hey, you gotta let us know and stuff, because, you know, we're planning a lot of streets being repaved, or several places being done this year, and we don't wanna have to come back in and cut everything.
One other small thing, you guys talked at the Board of Works meeting, getting sand out there at the park at almost $15,000.
Yeah, not quite.
1480.
I forgot to bring that forward.
One cent, like you
Yeah,
just
well,
use regular
that's a
sand.
little much in my opinion.
Well-
That's got, my understanding, it's got 4 foot of sand in there with gravel underneath of it. Why could we not
It's $11,000.
take some of that top sand off and not buy so much, and then, you know, or bring it up and see if we can use what's in the ground, you know, just turn it under. That's a
We've
lot.
been out there, and the sand is just literally, you know,
Oh, this is
it's
way-
down this far.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's down about a foot in it. You know,
I think, Bill Good Pastor told me it's 4 foot deep.
but
Like,
it's
that's a lot of sand.
not that way anymore, because it has settled
Yeah,
down.
well.
And I had Phil Good Pastor out there, had Denny Wagner out there. So I mean, it's not me saying this is where we need to be. These guys are the ones that do it. The high school goes out there. Well, they used to. The kids would go out there, the volleyball team, and practice. You know, because it gives them more strength trying to get out of that sand and stuff instead of being on the court. And the bottom line is, I mean, I know, I realize it's a lot of money. And it, believe me, I've called
$3,700 times 4 is 14,800, yeah.
37,
That's what you said earlier.
yeah.
That's $14,800. I mean, people play on sand. I mean, I don't know why it has to be this white sand. I'm not.
Well, when you have tournaments and you got people out there all day and you get your sand off the beach or whatever, it literally gets too hot to play and do anything.
I think, why couldn't you dig some of that other white sand up and then pack it with your old sand? And put it in
Your feet get into it and you go down. I mean, you're going down
Yeah, but
a long way.
you don't
But
go
to
that
dig
far.
that, to dig that up and everything,
I mean, you're gonna dig it up anyway.
well, we're gonna try to get the weeds out of it.
Well, I mean,
We're
if
gonna
you're
try
gonna
to
dig-
screen it and everything, yes.
I mean, if you're buying 4 truckloads, you're digging it all up and replacing it all. Why not try to salvage some of that, you know, and,
Well, we're gonna try to salvage a lot of sand out there, yes, but it still needs to be backfilled into where it needs to be.
that's a lot of money.
You know, it is a lot of money, but you know, you're offering a service out there to the park or to the community, and being fiscal responsibility also means you have to spend money sometimes to make sure your stuff is safe. At least that's my view. You know, we got kids that go out there and play on the basketball court all the time. We got all kinds of people that use the walking trail. We gotta get the exercise equipment in.
What about the playground equipment that we purchased 3 years ago from Shoals School?
I don't know which equipment that is.
It's a fireman's ladder, pole, and it's another, we bought 2 pieces from Shoals. And we have sent it out to Lock Millers, they put the new extensions on 2 years ago.
No, that's the first I've heard of that.
Yeah, we do have 2 pieces of equipment we bought that we were gonna put in the park, and they never got around to putting it up. Don't have time.
Well, we've got a list of stuff and we are gonna prioritize and, you know.
And the old pump that was out there, the old wheel pump, it's actually from back in the day, from the water tower, it was in the park, from the CCC camp. We had that restored, and it's gonna put a platform out there to put it on. Then Bill was gonna put some information together for a sign to put underneath the bathroom shelter, you know, in between the bathrooms, stating what all this is. I mean, it's been completely redone.
First I've heard of this.
Yeah. Well, I'm just telling you, it's probably out the sewer plant with the rest of the stuff. So it's something you might wanna look at, because the pipe is still there in the ground, sticking out of the ground.
I saw it was out there the other
And
day. It's
that's,
about-
yeah, it's
yeah.
about 200 feet deep,
Yeah.
from my understanding. So, you know, like I said, we were gonna put a nice, brick foundation, set that pump back on there, stating because a lot of people didn't know it. I didn't even know it. I called Billy, I don't know. But next day it was taken down, somebody called the mayor's office, said, hey, why did they take this out? So we decided to restore it, but it's been over 2 years ago too, so now you're aware of it.
When do you have to get this sand?
I'm sorry?
When do we have to have this sand?
Well, we have to have it before the 3rd week in June. We gotta have time to get it in. That's when, before the 19th, it'll take about a week and a half to get it here, so we're looking, you know, 2nd week of June. I'd rather we get it sooner than later. So we got time to get it, do what we need to do, you know. The old wooden
Who's
post,
putting the volleyball tournament on out there?
Haley, up at the school.
I mean, I'm all for the volleyball tournament. I just think that's a lot of money to spend on sand for a volleyball tournament.
Well, it's not just a tournament, I mean, it is for everybody, and,
Yeah.
but,
Same for kids.
but people used to go out there and play all the time.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Too much money to spend on sand, is my thoughts. You can spend $15,000 on a lot of things the town needs, and I just think, I mean, I don't play volleyball, obviously, sand is sand to me, but I could be wrong. I'll talk to Denny too and see what he's doing.
And we got till
Got a little
another
bit of time,
meeting, so we got a little bit of time or anything, but reach out to them, okay? I think the moment we all been waiting for, you want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, why so too long?
No.